God. How is everyone today? I'm on the same delay you are because of the chat. And I don't have the screen right in front of me. So that should be interesting. So yeah, now I can see myself. Cool. Wait for everyone to mosey on in and just relax and say, you know what? Why not? It's a Tuesday, and everyone just hates Mondays. So I figure, why not Tuesday, right? These aren't scheduled for any particular time. Just whenever I feel like it. With hopefully enough notice to where everyone can, pop on. You'll notice on the description, I did say we're just going to chat and hang out and talk about whatever projects we want to and whatever's going on in the world and collect trolls today. Because they're coming. Will it work with the fan? Oh, yay. Hope the thumbnail was entertaining enough for everyone. We will give it a few minutes for people to show up because I know, I did say 2. And gosh darn it, I'm 5 minutes early. Well, better early than late, right? Got the mycelium grow tent up, and there's some hardwood substrate, zombie dust, I think they call it, or zombie hardwood, something like that. It's for mushrooms, not those kind of mushrooms. It's for the project I'm doing. I know there's a lot of people that are going to be like, "Oh, you're just doing regular old mushroom?" No, I'm actually doing just bioluminescent mushrooms. My opinion is that I am glad that you're all here. How are you, Mark? And Chuck, sick, is that sick Chuck? Sick. Anyway, hi. Gloria, hi. How are you doing? And Sabir, welcome. Glad you could all make it. We're just kind of chatting, just hanging out, doing whatever we want to do, talking about whatever. Whether it be stuff that you like on the site, or not the site, my, channel page. Any of the content regarding the drones, the mycelium tank is set up. It's ready to go for the bioluminescent Pinella stypticus. That's going to be something I'm going to be working with. That and orchids and the CRISPR-Cas9 virus. Do a little bit of genetics on the side when I'm doing drone building. Hey, you got to do something when you're waiting 11 hours for a print, right? Hi Jackson, how you doing? Rizwan, how are you? Welcome. If I'm looking down, it's because I'm going to be looking at the chat, which unfortunately for me, the way my setup is on the same delay that everybody gets. So if I don't answer something right away, please do not take offense. I will get to it. Or I'll miss it and then you'll have to repeat yourselves. The big EDFs will not, or the model be. Oh, you're talking about you want to know if the EDF files for which one of the turbines, the 170 or the 340 millimeter? California, Rizwan. The armpit of California. Yeah, not sure what's up with the whole. Jackson, you always ask me that question. I think it was expensive for us. But that doesn't weigh against the lives being lost, obviously, because of a senseless war. Who's tired of senseless wars? Raise your hand. Okay, the smaller 170, I will make available. I'm gonna be doing the gearbox in the back again. I'm doing a little bit of smoother gear, more teeth. It's a lot bigger than the first ones that I had trouble with. But if you do print them, I would try to print them out of something stronger than PETG, probably like a nylon 6. Anything harder that you can print with, do the gearbox in that. Okay, and then I'll have the STLs up once I run that last test, and then I'll have the motor components for you, the collets. I'll pretty much put links to everything I got in the video that's attached to the STLs, and I'll probably put the STLs on my Buy Me a Coffee site. You don't have to pay for them if you don't want to. I'll put them up for free. Donations are strictly based on whether or not you can afford it. I know I've been there, I've done it, still doing it. But you know, if you feel like you can donate, then donate. If not, then it's totally fine. I'm just trying to share the hobby. That's what this is all about. Yes, Jackson agrees. Let's end all the wars, shall we? They don't accomplish anything except, you know, just more death. And if the wrong side wins, then there's more death to follow. So it's like you gotta, you know, the world needs more morality than anything. I thought it was interesting how I put up a video of the Easter starlight where I did the star trails with the GoPro. I got like 7 views on that video. That was disappointing. It's like it's Easter. I thought it was cool. I caught 2 shooting stars, actually 3 in that one. One hit the North Star, was headed towards the North Star. It almost looked like it skipped up the atmosphere. Weird. And then it was in the bottom right corner of the video. You can see them, but it was pretty cool. And then you can see the plane track going by. You can see the lights from the planes in the video as they're going, you know, to Oakland or SFO, and it's a major, basically commercial skyway right there. So finding a place where I don't have air traffic to ruin the shots is pretty difficult. PXT, I have yet to begin to fight. William Berry, welcome. Sylvan, welcome. Yeah, it is the biggest business. I mean, what else do they do it for? You know, there's nothing to gain from it except territory, which just means control, which means more money. So it's always about money. Never mind the fact that you could fit everybody on the planet in the LA basin, shoulder to shoulder. So it's not a problem of is there enough room. You know, people are just greedy. Yep, money and power, that's all it is. But the thing is, it's at the cost of human life, and that should be unacceptable under any circumstances. Yeah, I imagine the satellites are crazy over there. Because you're on the east, you got the sun rising up, plus you got all the star links going over, so it probably looks like this net just right over the top of you. That's why I have to try and get it at the shots at a specific time during the night where I'm not going to be picking up iridium flares from the actual satellites. Yeah, we agree with that. We got billionaires and trillionaires. Rockstar aristocrat, huh? I can hear it already. See? And then the pipe to top it off. The lighter can work. There we go. Oh, hey, Clayton, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Scaly fluffiness. Oh, scaly fluffiness. Okay. I'm tempted to try getting them printed on big SLS. Hold on. If you're asking me a question about something. Oh, you're talking about the 170 millimeter fan. Is that the one you're asking about? SLS would be definitely much better. I actually would love to try the Formlabs large scale printer because some of their materials I'm interested in for the aspect of the fact that we can get tough materials and get rigid materials, so I can choose my stator casing materials and things like that. I don't think I'm going to get a 340 millimeter fan in one piece off of the printer, nor would I want to, just because it's too big of a piece and it's also too fragile as far as its dimensional accuracy. The way I did this one was I basically printed the hub separately from all the blades, and then each blade individually has a 0.05 tolerance, which should be adequate for machining, but also works with a good PETG as well. You have to tap it in with a hammer, but it's only light taps, and then the back plate holds it on. But you saw the spin up on this before. If you haven't, go check it out. And I didn't use any glue to hold those in. The fan blades into the hub. It's just all friction fit. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you're starting your YouTube journey. Brian, our first strange question of the afternoon. It depends on the context in which you're asking, because it's not my lifestyle, nor do I condone that kind of lifestyle personally. But you're gonna do whatever you want to do. If you're out bungee jumping, you decide you don't want to use a rope. I'm gonna try and talk you out of it. But ultimately, it's your decision. So, yeah. So, you're still a human being, even if my religion dictates that is wrong as far as lifestyle is concerned. I'm not going to fault you for it myself, because it's not my job. I'm just going to tell you what the truth is, in my perspective and in my opinion. And if I were to waver from that opinion in any way to facilitate anyone in a sense and say, oh yeah, no, you're going to be fine, then I would be lying, and I wouldn't be truthful about my conviction, and I wouldn't be truthful about how I feel about my religion, how I am about my religion. So while I don't fault you as an individual, I don't hate anyone. I don't like some of the stuff that people have to go through just because of the lifestyles that they choose. But the world's full of assholes. It's just the way it is. And you're not going to win any hearts and minds by being an asshole to somebody, just because they might have a different lifestyle. You know, you got to witness to them. That's what you have to do. You got to witness to them about Christ. That's what He wanted us to do. We love one another, no matter what. You know, if you ever find your walk with Him, it'll be your walk with Him. And so, yeah, that's the way I feel about it. Hey, how you all doing? Again, remember, this, I'm on the same delay as you because of the way my chat is set up. I'm not using the forward-facing part of the camera, so I can't see the comments in real time. So if there is a delay and I miss something, I apologize. I'll try to catch up until I get a better setup. Patrick, yes, Jesus did say love thy neighbor. Exactly. Not condemn them, not convict them, not judge them, love them. Share the truth with them. Don't make us all John Paul Jones your shores. Hey everybody, how's it going? Brian, that's terrible for you. Make sure you eat stuff high in iron. They like that. Stop the boats. You hold on, James. Woo. Well, with gas prices, and that starts passing through, you just lean over into your gas tank, save yourself some money. What's up? How you doing? Welcome to everyone. Welcome, Profolk. Anyone I haven't said hi to, welcome all of you. I'm again, I have to try and catch up to chat. You refuse to like? Why is that? Am I not like-worthy? Do I not have a likable face? Was the thumbnail somehow not likable? Good Mike, hi, how you doing? Welcome. Brian Z. You are a rebel. You are, man. You are, I can see it. That text alone was just, gave me chills. Anti-furry. Interesting name. I like it. TTJ. How are you? English. We're the first to do most things, yes. I'm not sure what you're referencing, but hey, you know. Froggy, you are not like Abel. Am I missing part of the conversation here? Hold on. We like to see the tree grow. Or, oh, you asked that before, I think. Honestly, I still don't know what you mean by it. Yes, I make things. Oak. I make lots of things. I make drones, I make aircrafts, I make turbine engines. I'm even growing mycelium. Okay, DJ. I'll give you the mic for a second. Why is it that Palestine needs to be free? Aren't they already free? They said they're on their land. Me personally, that's between Palestine and Israel. They don't want them on their land. This has been a war that's been going on. It's been a dispute that's been going on for thousands of years. So Why we're still having it, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you know, don't just come in here and say free Palestine. Give us good reasons why. Do you be weary of the Jew? Well, see, here's the interesting part about that. The Jewish people, whether they be, it's the Israelites that were God's chosen people, Jewish people, but they did kill their king. So there's one of those things where you gotta kind of, you know, they look back and it's sort of a uh-oh kind of moment, you know. The Syrian Christians slaughter and forced to bark. Oh yeah, you're talking about by the Arab. Yeah, of course. They're always like that. I mean, look. In this country, you're free to practice your religion. Of course, some of the things that Islam teaches you to practice, especially, are the things that they're doing in overseas. Like, for example, it would be unfortunate for the person who said, you know, is it okay to be gay? Well, in the United States, it is, because it's a land full of wickedness. Not that you're personally wicked, but it's allowed because of that. But over there, they're going to put a bag on your head and drop you off a building. I've seen it. So, I mean, they like to say that Muslims are more loving and accepting and so on and so on. Then they forget about Sharia law. And then how the women are more oppressed in that religion than anywhere else in the world. And then we've got white women here screaming about their rights being taken away by Donald Trump, which hasn't happened. But hey, whatever. Thank you, Stephen. Everyone is entitled to my opinion. What's my favorite car, and if I like it, I'll sub. My favorite car, honestly, it's always been Eleanor. It's always been the fastback, the Mustang. I mean, we're talking the Gone in 60 Seconds style, Boss 429, Cobra Jet. That's what I'm talking about, right there. All right, nothing like friggin' popping that clutch and just, you know the feeling, man. You know the feeling. Newer cars, I'd have to compare it to the Hellcat when it comes to that. I don't know, I've never driven a Hellcat. I just have a 300C with a Hemi in it. That's enough for me because it's all I can afford and it was given to me. So, yeah. Brian. I told you we were collecting trolls today. No, Brian. I am not gay. To answer your question directly. Oh, Brian, no one's holding it against you. Probably a bad choice of words. But my point is, you're a human being. I'm good, Freddie. How are you? Glad you could make it. Antifa read. Okay, what one chance do you want? Be quick, because I'm stuck on the same delay you guys are when it comes to... Okay, hold on. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that, because I'm telling you, it's straight muscle cars, man. I did a 65 Mustang. Guy wanted a 302. I had a 302 with flat top pistons in it. Juicy little cam. He put some Edelbrock heads on it, intake, 650 CFM Edelbrock carburetor, fireball ignition system. I had to assemble the entire thing, then take it for a test drive, and I was like, oh, it was a pearl white one too. Beautiful car. No, I want something like I was given a Ford Ranchero that has a 302 in it. That wasn't enough for me. Okay, so I put a 460 into it. I worked at an engine dismantler and rebuilder, so I stroked it over to a 514. 280 lift cam, 244 duration, tunnel ram, 2 carburetors. You know where I'm going with this. Mickey Thompson M5014s in the back, you know, and a couple of bags of concrete in the bed. So I have some kind of traction. I don't know how many drive lines I twisted. Where are you going? You just got here. What do you mean, bye-bye, have a nice stream? Hold on. Wait, slow down, someone. Who's saying something about Rockstar? Do you know that Rockstar drinks make you... Okay. Well, I've got some big ones. And trust me, sitting in a chair like this, you sit down the wrong way, and it's just like you're rolling them. So I might need to drink a couple more just to get them down to a comfortable size. Oh yes, I'm sure it has notification. Good try though. I wonder if they really expect me to fall for stuff like that. Except that's the second troll though. Love it. Love it. Told you, if you looked at the description, that's what we were doing, was collecting trolls. Well, what do you mean you hate car talk? You came in here asking if it was okay to be gay. I didn't mind talking to you about that. What, now I can't talk about cars? Seems a little one-sided, don't you think? I mean, not to be mean or anything, but, you know, with that kind of attitude about car talk, you're sounding a lot like the catcher. I enjoy cars, guns, and tannerites. A nice pair of titties, which luckily my wife is in ample supply of. And your American way. I mean, don't smoke. Dad? Do I know your mother? Only asking because this happens a lot. Froggy, that's an awfully strange question. Are you referring to cheese? I have no idea what that means. Baby slime. It's an interesting name. Both of us passed. Oh man. Hello, I. How are you doing? I am using just a standard tobacco. I wish I had some, you know, Captain Black, but gold or premium. But I'm but a poor boy. Julio, you make your grandpa get you bread? Why? Just some edits. Hi, how you doing? Welcome. opinion on JDM cars. Define JDM cars. I'll be honest with you, I don't recognize the acronym. I'm doing good. Edits. I'm doing pretty good. The sound like sit and look where. Oh, you're talking about the cars. Okay. Right. Okay, sounds like those are bad cars. Yeah, that's right, Steve. Damn right. Merca. Oh, Honda Japanese crap. Yeah, I gotcha. Nah, I don't want to deal with that crap. Straight muscle cars, man. There was only 12 wires under the hood and 8 were spark plug. See, I know. I think people are into a lot of those because they don't leave. Well, they don't leave them stock. They like to put body kits on them and loud mufflers. And I hear it a lot around here, where I'm at, just because I'm sort of in a rural area, and they like to really open them up around here, and it sounds like there are large bees racing down the street. It's not cool. No, nothing's like. I mean, you got a Holley muffler system and a Hemi, and you can hear and feel that just throaty off idle from that high lift cam, and then you rev that thing up, and you can hear that whine on the supercharger. That's what I'm talking about right there. Not this, not the lawnmower on crack that's running down the street. Supra MK4. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, I've heard of them. I've seen them, and I know that they don't. I think we were at the shooting range at one point, and somebody brought an old Supra out, and we filled it up with tannerite, and then we shredded it. And the guy walks up and tried to start it afterward. And of course, I had to do the "Hello, Ireland, how are you?" Megan, welcome to the chat. Please be leery of the people in here. Sometimes it can get offensive, and I apologize for that. It's not me. So I try not to ban everyone because I want them to have their own opinion. Some people come in and say really crass things. That's on them, not me. So, if I don't ban people for that reason. YouTube might take down a post they don't like from some of them, but just be careful. If people know you're a female, you be careful. Mazda RX-7. See, again, we're still talking about stuff I wouldn't drive. And that I more than likely wouldn't fit into anyway. So. They helped me have one car tech. Sonny, is that a question? Well, I mean, PXD, he's seen my ancestry. Okay? I'm English, Scottish, Irish, Viking, Denmark. Queen of Denmark's my grandmother, Queen Philippa of France. I mean, I pretty much, I probably have a throne or a castle in most parts of the country if I could just, bring all that proof over and show them and just inherit a bunch of stuff. William, thank you. Matt's is a good channel. I thought you were talking about me. Unless you meant mate. I don't know what. Okay. I'm just going to take it as a compliment. Ohio. Is it cold there right now, Ohio? Wish it was cold here. you need a car idle sensor reset? You know what? I believe I am royalty, yes. According to the DNA. Which usually is the define. I mean, if they're going to convict people of murder on it, might as well give me my damn castle. DNA is DNA. Matt's Off-Road Rescue. Yeah, that's a channel I'd like to check. If that's a channel, I'd like to check it out. Yeah. Can you imagine off-road rescue in a turbine-powered vehicle where you don't even have to touch the ground? Am I? Or done? From Morocco. Welcome. Ever watched Steve 1989 or Eaten MRE? Well, yeah, I've eaten an MRE. Who hasn't eaten an MRE? Well, I guess most people won't. I'm Fort Benning, so yeah, MREs were the thing, man. I miss MREs. So until Robert and Bruce killed John Commons, there's Scott's Royals. Oh, yeah. Robert the Bruce I'm also related to. You're having car problems. I think it's my carburetor. Can you help me? I don't know how to fix it. I don't have enough money for AAA. Well, what's wrong with the carburetor? I mean, that's kind of a hard question to answer when you're not actually seeing the problem or hearing the problem. But if you have a video of the problem, I will be happy to take a look at it. Just send it to my email on my channel page, and I'll be happy to take a look at it and see if I can't help you diagnose the issue. Might not get it right, but at least it's worth a shot. I'm glad you like the planes. The planes are. I love flying RC aircraft. I just do. I don't know what it is about it. It's just my ultimate goal is to be in something that I'm designing to fly. So yeah, I want to be up there, man. I want to be cruising. Design was flawed, but still a good piece of machinery. Mm-hmm. True. All Celtic nations shall rise as one. I like that one. Yes. And I will lead them. No. Tobacco, maybe. But I don't do that on camera, you know, the other stuff. The relaxing tobacco. The laffy tobacco. Yeah, we build planes to fly. That's a good point. Possibly 10,000 for your pilot's license. That's awesome. I don't need a pilot's license. I just got to outrun the F-22. Sound? Are you? Why is there sound with a question mark? Hi, Marley on Mars. How are you doing? How is Mars today? I hope Mars is doing well. If I'm, again, looking more down at the chat than I am the camera, I apologize. It goes by rather quickly. And I am on the same delay you are because I'm not looking at the chats directly. When I do these chats or when I start doing them from my PC, then it'll be a lot easier for me because then I can answer direct. And that's really the main goal. But typically I'm out here in the shop, so I figured why not. Marley the Martian from Mars. That's a good one. Who's a pro? Me? I did not know that. Probably not talking about me though. I rarely get compliments. Nice try. Like I'm gonna scream that out. That was a good attempt though. I'm impressed. I'll just say happy birthday. He knew what he was doing. That's why he's laughing right now. He was hoping I was just gonna blurt that out online. Even though his name isn't the actual slur, it's how it would have sounded. And that's what he was going for. I saw that one coming. Mini B2. Yeah, there you go. That's what the 340 millimeters should be for. Those things are putting out some power. And I'm only pushing 48 volts through it. It can handle 75. When I finally move up to a 300 amp ESC that's pushing an 18S, that thing's gonna spin up even more than it was on that 48 volt spin up. And that was on 70C batteries. I'm actually gonna do a spin up on this fan using a 100C 22.2 volts. So lower voltage, but higher discharge rate. I want to see what the difference is. Again, it's all about data collection. But ultimately, I'm going to be pushing that fan with two 10,000 milliamp 22.2 volt packs for 48 volts and 20,000 milliamps of runtime. So that should give me plenty of time to do the testing without popping the batteries. They're actually a 120C discharge rate. They're the Z batteries. Amazon brand, I think, but still, nonetheless, they'll work. And if they pop, then, you know, I don't see why they would, because they're both rated at 120C, and this motor's maximum amp draw is 100. So, yeah, I can handle it. I mean, you saw what I was pushing before with those other ones. Almost 3/4 throttle, never made it to full. But, had up to about 70-75% throttle, and then we started to lose power because I only had 4,400 milliamps to run with, and it swelled up one of the batteries. But those batteries have been through a lot of testing, so that's a problem that I have. I don't want to use a benchtop power supply because it's hard to get one, you know, that's not too expensive, that can handle the voltage I'm looking for and the amp draw. Unless you can all recommend one that might work for me. But I really want to test things in a real world situation. So batteries, ESC, receiver, radio, that kind of thing. That's how I like to test things, as they would be in a real world scenario. I study physics constantly, and I am an engineer. Yes. And I'm going for a master's in aerospace engineering. So a lot of the stuff, like I've said before, that I'm working on is not something that I put on the channel because they're fairly larger projects, and some companies may be interested in them. So I'm working on that angle first. But we are going to have eventually in this channel, we're building up to a quad. We're building up to a quad that I can ride that's going to run off of turbine engines. So we're talking ground-facing LiDAR, cameras, infrared, keep you at a decent ride height in the air, and then of course you can go up when you want to, over traffic, fly around orchards if you want to, you know, that kind of thing. So just like riding a quad. Be fun. In this stage, patenting isn't something that I need to do because you're not seeing anything that is going to require me having a patent to protect yet. When you do see it, it'll be patented. It'll be under an LLC. It'll be protected, so on and so forth. I'm not looking to keep my smaller models away from people who want to use them in the RC sector. So, but the RC sector has been a really big help in testing to getting up to the phase where I'm at now. So, yeah, once you see what it is I'm actually building, then, yeah, it's going to be not only patented, but freaking awesome. Okay? My raffles are, what does that mean? Oh, your raffles are 1950s plane? What'd I miss? If you're gonna go with the Canard style trivia, I would go with the. I mean, if you're just building one of your own design, then of course, you know, do that. But I like the SU-47 Burkert because it has that forward swept wing, and then the forward canards. Oh, you're gonna have a weekly quiz? 35 questions, 7 rounds? Who's ready? Oh my gosh, Elijah. He is trying to make things fun right now. What's the quiz? Your man looks like he should have a cheeseburger and Diet Coke beside him? Well, lean over and tell him. So the RC tests are small scale, yes, models of the projects and the information from testing. The smaller model is used for full scale model, or do you have the test full scale also? The small, well, if you notice, I went from 170 to 340 and then I'm going up from there. So I get to the scale that I'm using for my large project. The second scale after this is for the quad, and that's something that I'll show on the channel. A lot of TIG welding to do on that one. But you know, the idea before I start developing the quad is that I get the CNC set up so that I can get the precision I need in the high pass fan, and I can create my tool steel bearing assembly that I'm putting together. So no roller bearings or anything like that. We're talking direct contact with the bearing stator, tool steel for that on the inside, pressed into the aluminum stator casing, and then the shaft for the fan is going to be steel with hardened tool steel bearing. So it's basically surface to surface contact. It's sealed, and there's only enough tolerance to just fit in there, so there's no wobble in it. And yeah, so there is in the 3D printed versions, I have to kind of go with the bearings that are available to me. But once we get to the CNC stage, everything's going to go to, all I have to do is make minor changes to the CAD files and set the offsets for the CNC machine that I'm using. And this is one of the reasons why I don't like using CNC printing services, because unless I know what machine they're using and how they're camming it over, I can't guarantee the fit that I need, because I don't know the tolerances of their machine, nor do I know the tolerances and offsets of their camming software, what tools they're using, that kind of thing. So it makes it hard for me to want to send this stuff out to get CNC'd and spend the money to do it, because it's really expensive to do, for one. If someone out there, if there's a company out there that can CNC it and they want to promote this channel and get themselves some business at the same time, then make what I send you, and I'll show it off, you know, how good your machine work is. But when it comes to getting all of the parts that I need machined, for what it would cost to have me send it all out and have it done, I could just buy my own CNC machine. That's how ridiculous the prices are. Well, I'm glad. Ariolana. Is it Ariolana? Leono? I don't know how to say that correctly. I apologize. I'll call you Gonzalez. If anyone has a CNC machine I think it'll work for my needs, and they just don't happen to be using it right now, go ahead and send it to me. I'll use it. Actually, what I've been trying to do is I wanted to start with that Pocket NC. I'm not sure how great it is on tolerance. Realistically, it's going to come down to the file and how you create it, and how stable the system is. I do like the swappable collets for the tools, because then you don't have to measure each tool every time you put a new one in. You just have them preset. I just don't have 11 grand or 15 grand to get all the, you know, the Pocket NC and the accoutrement that goes with it, you know, to make it a viable purchase. I don't have that kind of money. Although I do have enough subscribers that if you were all to go down there and buy me like 5 coffees at the Buy Me a Coffee site, then I would just take all that money and buy the CNC. So you'd all have a part in the CNC, and then when I'm done, like, I'll order some stock, and then when I finish like doing a fan, if you're like, hey man, I need this part done in metal, and you only spent money on like 5 coffees, but now you're getting a metal part from me because you supported me. That's how you share the wealth, right? Combine it all, get the CNC, let's get it in here, let's get it going, and if you guys need a metal part, I'll buy the stock, do the part, get the CAD file from you, send you your part. I will use it for my work and be a 3D printing service for the people who helped me purchase the machine. So if that sounds like a viable plan, then everybody go there and start donating like crazy. It's only money. It's not going to be worth anything soon anyway. You need a pair of truck nuts, like 3D printed or like cast in iron. I don't know how to say your name. Well, who you love is your opinion. You're right. Enjoy it. Chrome truck. I see where you're going. I think I've seen them on the back of some of these trucks out here, because where I'm at, you know, there's trucks out here all over the place. Farm country. You see them, sometimes you'll see them. You know, big old silver iron cast iron nuts that are chromed hanging off the back of the trailer hitch, and they're just, and I'm like, it looks so stupid, but it's funny at the same time. I don't have a table of gold. What does that mean? It's only money, says the guy with a table of gold and silver. I don't have any gold or silver. This ring wasn't even gold. And that was one of the things when they had us make these or choose our rings at Fort Benning for our units. They had the option of silver, gold, and then this off metal. I forget what it's called, but I didn't want to go into combat wearing a ring that was gold, so I chose like the faux gold because I didn't want to ruin it. But it looks pretty good. It's a decent ring, and with the delay, I'm gonna have to wait and see if you guys can actually read it. But yeah, Dilt's company. No, I'm gonna have to put my hand in front of here. Hold on. Let's get to focus. There we go. Get to focus. And then on the other side. Is it reading? Is it focusing? Is it focusing? It's not focusing. Not focusing because it's stupid. Yay! No, it says train to kill on the other side. But that was Fort Benning for you. Yes, I'm a veteran. I try to get to focus. I honestly, it's an iPhone cam. What are you gonna do? I did get a GoPro, but I am using it for filming rather than lives. Obviously, I don't even know if you can use it for lives. Maybe you can. I don't know. But the battery doesn't last long enough for it to be a viable live anyway. Yeah, focus at further distance. It just says my name on one side, has the American flag. On the other side, it says Train to Kill. And yeah, Armored Infantry Division on the stone. The stone is my birthstone. And of course, it says United States Army on the top, as you would expect. So, I assume by now you've all seen the 340 millimeter EDF. That's going to be the drone that's going to be done in all clear PETG. From the blade to the fan casing, the whole thing. Whole thing is going to be done. The entire drone body is going to be done in clear PETG, with the exception of the carbon fiber rods that I will use for reinforcement, which I may end up using just a thicker acrylic rod because I want it to be able to diffuse the light better. So I'm not sure yet. It's not going to be a fast flyer. It's just going to be more of a heavy lift. So, and the idea is that I want to deck it out with a bunch of Arduino lights and put some kind of weird organic body design around the EDFs and the rest of the body so that I can get myself a UFO sighting. That would be awesome. Especially if someone's filming it from a distance and then calls the news because they have no idea what it is. And that would just be amazing to me. That would be just awesome. And if they scramble a fighter jet, they might charge me for that one, I guess. They're like, it's a drone. You might have to pay for the fuel now of the F-18 that intercepted it. Who's going to intercept a UFO over an almond orchard? We're here for your almond milk. You know, I mean, come on. PXD, I don't want to hear it. I love gold. You gotta send me some. You send me $1,100 worth of gold and I'll send you a Mine Lab Equinox metal detector that I barely get to use. And it cost me $1,100 for the setup. That's why I'm saying it. It's the good one. The good Mine Lab. With, you know, it's got the pinpoint finder and everything, and you've got the belt and some digging tools, and I've got a backpack set up with the coffee thermos and whole 9 yards, and a blue bowl pan for the, you know, panning out any stuff that I find in the water. But I never get to go do it, you know, because I've been focused so much on this channel and giving you guys content and constantly designing stuff. And well, I'm a veteran, I don't go anywhere, so this is what I do. Oh, but this is going to get rebuilt because I have the bottom done. The bottom's done, and I said, today at one point, I'm going to do kind of like one of those time-lapse things with the GoPro, so you can kind of see me pulling all of the old parts out of the bottom of the new one, because I have to do some soldering. And once the soldering's done, then we'll put it all together. And we'll have our new, this has to screw in there, but we'll have our new one ready to go. Alright. Everybody loves the dill drone. Where are the Doge arrests? No idea. Guantanamo Bay, perhaps? I'm the co-owner of your mine. Yes, yes. I almost forgot. Send me gold! Cool. Yeah, we gotta mine that boy out. I just want to know. Maybe I have it. I ain't no missing gold. There was just gold that they said was there, that they basically printed money against. Just hold on. My audio still up? I hate it when I get phone calls in the middle of this thing. How you doing, fan? I don't know how to say those words. Some of the words I don't know how to say. Some of the names I don't have to pronounce. I don't want to chew them up and insult anyone. Um, well, you just need to detect the vein. Get something to probe the veins and see if there are any veins. Bring up a couple samples and run them through a dry sluice, and then see if there's anything there. That's what I should design. Oh, you know what? That black box that they have, the stackable gold sluice for the fine gold. I could print that on the Bamboo Lab, and I found out something very interesting about this. Some of you may remember the TPU that I used for the AMS for that, and it's much more rigid than standard TPU, but it's watertight, and the bonding on the layers are just like regular TPU. They're water resistant, waterproof. So, but since the TPU for the AMS is more rigid and still has that bonding capability, you can print that stackable black box for doing concentrates and finding gold, and it's completely waterproof. You don't have to worry about trying to waterproof your 3D print. Just use TPU for the AMS from Bamboo Lab. That stuff will print out everything you need, completely waterproof, and it's great for making sluice mats and things like that for your sluices, printing out pretty much anything you need. You could even print out trommel sections because it's rigid enough, and make a small trommel for, shoveling in small amounts of gravel and things from the river and whatnot. You just know can't live in Trump land, huh? I don't understand the question, the last part of the statement. And have facts, can we? Use punctuation so I know if it's a question or a statement. I mean, I can tell you about some gold detection work. You use a detector and find gold. In the rivers around my house, it's about finding the bends in the river and going to the inside and getting to the inside of the bend and looking through there, because the faster water goes on the outside of the bend, and the slower water tends to drop the heavies off at the inner side of the bend. So that's the best place to look in any river for any kind of black sands and heavies and things like that. Closer you get to bedrock, the better, though. Yeah, I think that's what they're saying, PhDs. Yeah, yep. He just filled up his pockets with 400 tons of gold and walked out with it. For what reason? The man's already rich. I mean, look at all he's built. And everyone says he's broke, but he's giving away his salary, to for good causes. He's not even accepting his presidential salary. So a lot of people just don't have the facts. The world isn't walking away from the USA. America is walking away from manufacturing outside of the USA. And that's why most of the people outside of the USA are walking away. Because they don't want the tariffs. They don't want to pay for them. So they got two options. They either build it here or they pay the tariffs. And a lot of companies are building here to save the money on the tariffs. Because in the long run, financially, it's better for them. So, like I said, when you incorporate a country like America, don't be surprised when a businessman can run it better than any other politician. That's how it works. HV, the world is flat, you'll see. There's no proof the world is flat. If you watched my last video, it can't be. See, because I was facing the north, and this is the cool part. I live in the northern hemisphere, so we're on a globe, right? North Star up here, right? At the, we're off axis, so it's not directly over the axis. We're tilted, that's how the Earth is. So at my vantage point in northern hemisphere, facing my camera north, I was able to, at probably around a 30-degree angle, 35-degree angle, close to 40 maybe, I was able to see the North Star and stars rotating underneath it in the same direction as the rest of the stars were as the Earth rotated, because of how far away the North Star is. See, that's the thing about distance. You ever watch a car passing a distance, it looks like it's going slow, but it's because you're far away? Okay, same principle. The point is, the Earth is a globe. Sorry. Those are just facts. You just left the U.S. 5 days ago? What do I know about conscious awareness? I know that I'm consciously aware. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, what's your point? With the degrees. The circle has 720 degrees. It actually doesn't. You mean a sphere doesn't even have 720 degrees? That doesn't even make any sense. You're talking about, I mean, look at a compass. That's all you need to know. And I know what you're going to say, but a compass is flat. No. A compass is flat, but what's it doing? It's pointing at the North Pole and the South Pole. And then when you turn it to the west, it faces west. You turn to the east, it faces east. It shows you which way you're pointing. Now, unless you are saying that the gravitational center of the Earth is somewhere in the mid-Atlantic, it's not a flat Earth, it's a globe. Otherwise, the north on the compass would point west from my direction. And it doesn't. It points north, as I would expect it to on a globe. Everybody can join the Discord. Yeah, if you want to debate this more, it could be in the Discord. Remember, it's going to be a civil conversation, and I respect your opinions. But me denying the truth doesn't make you believe me anymore. You're going to lose respect for me if I deny my truth. I'm willing to hear you out, but knowing what I already know, you'll never convince me that it's flat. Just know. Unaware of what? No gave you ability to talk. Well, I have no idea what that. Oh, who are you talking to, PXD? Who's Samuel, I appreciate it. Welcome. Welcome to the madness. Yes, I love the shirt too. Thank you very much. Yeah, people tend to do that. PXD, they'll run in and just dump a one-liner in there and be like, I made my point. And everyone's like in the chat going, this guy's wrong. But then they had already left. It's more about, it's like talking to the left. Okay? You're not going to get your point across because the moment you start to actually introduce factual information that can be proven by science, since science is the observation of creation, then what happens? They get angry. They start to yell. They start to get, they start to breathe heavier, and then they get upset and things like that. It's like it's hard to have an actual debate about any subjects that way, because they're coming into the conversation with the fact that this is my ideology and it's the truth, without any evidence. Because I've seen the reels where people are like, well, you know, they believe a man can be a woman, but they can't define a woman. Or they'll refuse to define a woman because if they had to define a woman, then they would realize that a man can't be a woman. So, it's real simple. Easiest way to define a woman, even if it's a man trying to be a woman, is have one real woman and one man who wants to be a woman make you a sandwich. That's all the proof you need. Dawson, how are you? Welcome back. So, to be perfectly frank, when it comes down to people pretending to be, people are allowed, you can pretend whatever you want to pretend to be, you know? And it's a little weird, kind of funny, but because they're adults doing this, you know? Like furries and stuff like that, or people that identify as this or something else, and then get mad at you when you misidentify them. It's like, dude, I didn't know you were a house plant, you know? And then they get mad when you pour water on them. It's a little dry. I'm just trying to respect your wishes. Very true statement, PXT. There is no Palestine. There are Palestinian people who want a Palestine. And unfortunately for them, they're not going to get a Palestine. You know what they're going to get? Trump Casino, Hotel, and Resort on the Gaza Strip. You're welcome. I try to be as funny and as formative as possible. Even if I am incorrect, at least it'll be funny when I am. Yeah, you know, Buc-ee's, Walmart, Bass Pro, Home Depot, all in the Gaza Strip. Right there. They need a Home Depot, that's for damn sure. Was that too soon? I heard they also wanted a Moab too, you know, the meal on a bun. And I guess somebody misunderstood, so they dropped the wrong Moab. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's an interesting point. I just know. Come on. You know what? I know you're here to argue pretty much every point that we are putting out, which is fine. You're entitled to your opinion. Just subscribe so you don't miss any more points that you want to argue. Because I appreciate the content in the chat. I appreciate the conversation. Even if people will disagree. This is a platform where you can speak it. As long as we're all respectful to each other and realize that we're all human beings, you know, no matter how our thoughts are on some things. My shirt says, "Everyone is entitled to my opinion." And that's kind of the tagline for these kind of chats. It's like, yeah, you're entitled to my opinion. I'm entitled to your opinion. Apparently, we have to be entitled to everyone's opinion. Hello, Sister Krista. Welcome. Dear British people, nice to meet you. I am the Far East. Okay. I don't know how to answer that except congratulations. And what was your best experience the last? I don't know if that's what. And what was your best experience the last? Gas. I assume you're speaking to somebody else. I know this is a silly question. Do you think that must be a 0-point energy that we can take advantage of? 0-point energy. Gravity? I mean, gravity is an energy that's is pretty much never changing, and it's due to mass and space-time. So you can use gravity to your advantage, much like using gravity of other worlds to slingshot around to gain speed. I mean, why not turn the solar system into a huge generator? Could be done. Gravity is 0-point energy if you have to put a name to it. Do lightsabers exist? No, but I'm working on it. Min, and max out is battery place. Oh, it's better places to work. And, okay, I kind of got that. So we have a lot of subjects here. So let's see what's the most interesting one. Lightsaber. Oh yeah, I remember you were saying he built one. The hacksmith did that. I remember seeing that. Yeah, but that was just a flame. It was a directed flame torch, mainly propane, I believe, or possibly hydrogen. I can't remember. But it was only designed to go so far. But we're talking more like, if you're talking like actual lightsaber, you're talking about a sustained energetic field that is hot, like a confined nuclear reaction in a sense, which means that you would need an extremely powerful electromagnetic coiling system to confine it. And then of course you have to worry about being irradiated. So, well, it could be done with a flame, it's just a big torch. So, and I know they did one with a tungsten rod, but that's not retractable like a lightsaber. So we're talking about a controllable point of energy, a laser diode even, but it would have to be something that you could stop at one point and reflect back, and possibly use electromagnetics to, because that can bend light. With enough electromagnetic capabilities, you can bend light. Actually, ultrasonics, you can bend light. You can direct electricity using electrosonic waves. So that's a possibility, but then you're surrounded, the electronic, the bolt of lightning that you might be using is surrounded by electronic devices like ultrasonic transducers. Hi Mansa from India, welcome. Riley, random stuff man. Sorry I'm new, but what are you doing currently? Talking. No, realistically I'm working on turbine engines. specifically 340 millimeter and 170 millimeter 22 blade high pass EDF engines, totally electric, for a very large drone, which will segue into a larger project, which will be fun because I will be riding that one. That's gonna be a fun project. Hi, my dear. Je t'aime, mon cher petit Jean. Oh. I'd hold off on that prayer. Yeah, I agree with that one. BXD. Remember, he had a stroke that killed him, so he comes back tomorrow, then we got an issue. Vikings. Welcome, Vikings. How are you? Miguel, hi, how are you? Welcome. Caught as number 1. What's up? I just copied what you said. So, hello. You pray for his soul to know Christ, because what he did is not of the Father. Well, yeah, that I agree. He bowed to kings and he bowed to idols. He did everything that the Pope isn't supposed to do. Miguel, I'm doing well. Hope you're doing good. Like, what do you mean, am I the Antichrist? No, I'm not. At least I don't think so. Welcome. Hold on. North Korea? Nice. Nice. Can I have an ICBM for my collection? Just one. I want to park it in my front lawn for the trespassers. Oh, I'd love to say, hi, Kim Jong-un. How you doing? Stop firing shit in the ocean. You're wasting money. I would like an ICBM though, that'd be nice. Sort of a decorative ICBM. Put some Arduino lights on it. Park it in the front yard. I'm not kidding. Just, you know, that mobile truck that holds the, just back it into the driveway and just put my Wi-Fi antenna on the top. Thank you. Thank you. I love the shirt too. Dabcat OG, welcome to the chat. Yeah, the Pope did do that. He blessed same-sex marriages, which means that he's a fool. And yes, you heard me. I said it right. The Pope was a fool. He was interested in being popular and entertaining the things of the flesh rather than entertaining the things of God. You don't bless sin. I mean, hello. Or Juno, don't jip me on that ICBM. I want one. Can you imagine? Kim Jong-un sends me an ICBM to park in my front lawn. Just so I can show off the quality of North Korean craftsmanship. That'd be a weird supporter for YouTube, wouldn't it? I mean, can you imagine how that would look? You know? Kim Jong-un, come to the United States. You know? Hang out with me in rural California. You know? Enjoy the sights. Yeah, I mean, why not, right? He's launching them everywhere else. At least let me have one, you know, add to my collection. Johnny, I have know what that means. Are you talking to... I treat her wife's back pain. I must have missed something. You see a 3D printer? Where? It's stalking me again, isn't it? The weirdo pipe. I'm not sure what are you referring to this pipe? Okay. Just know, I know. You want me to recognize what you're saying on the chat, so there is your recognition. Moving on. No, I haven't printed an FGC. I am very famous. You don't know me. Johnny, if you're very famous and I don't know you, then how would I verify such a thing? Chat, do you know Johnny? Does everybody know Johnny? Who's Johnny? Like, are you John Wick? Or what? I mean... He's like, everybody else doesn't know who he is. How do you know Johnny? Come on, North Korea. How do you know Johnny? Okay, hold on. What are you talking about? Flashing down the local park? I don't know what that means. What does Johnny do? I have no idea who Johnny is. Why do we want to Google you, man? Why can't you just tell us who you are? Yeah, there you go. People from Romania don't know you. Okay, then why do I care? Just out of curiosity, why should I care? If everybody's telling me what they think you are, then why do I care? Oh, you're a doctor, a plumber, a mechanic, and a teacher? Well, I'm a Viking, a king, an engineer, and short-tempered. There you go. People from UK and EU don't care about Johnny. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Shit, man, I was at Fort Gordon and Fort Benning. I'm an amateur porn star. Sorry, honey, I had to tell him. Dude, I'm like, I'm getting the stink eye from the wife right now. It was before I met you. But you know, hey, I mean, when you're at an amusement park, people want to ride the rides. I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble here in a minute.
You might as well just stay online all day.
I love you, honey. Oh man, that was funny. She didn't slam it, but she is being. She doesn't like the idea that for me I don't have, or I vaguely recall a life before my marriage, and it's because when you're with somebody who you were meant to be with, it's like you can't imagine really life before that. The only thing I have is short experiences for the military, and oh gosh, I don't even remember most of my childhood, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, you only slammed it a little. Don't worry, dear, you already know that for the past 16 years, going on 17 years now, that I have been the only amusement park ride you've ever needed. And you're the only one I've ever needed. It's fun to be married to your best friend. It really is. Because then you get along all the time and you get to do this witty banter back and forth kind of thing. It's fun because then it ends up in this sort of witty banter domination kind of thing. We'll leave it at that. Emery! We're sorry to wake you again, my friend. Yeah, my wife and I are best friends. We've been inseparable since we met, so that's how you do it, man. You gotta have fun. If you're not having, because I heard people like during the COVID pandemic, which I'm sure they're planning another one. Wonder what it'll be this time. I heard a lot of stories about married couples that were like, I can't stand it. We're at home all the time. We can't go out, and they got sick of each other. And when my wife and I found out they were like, stay inside, don't go places, everything's closing down. For some reason there was a bum rush on toilet paper. I don't know why. When you're with somebody, like for us, it was like we get to stay home with each other and not go outside and see people. This is awesome. And of course, none of us got the shot, so we're still completely healthy. I mean, I know people out there are like, I had my 4th booster today, and my 3rd arm is starting to hurt. You know, it's like, I don't know. I wasn't about to take that booster. Not what. No, you look at that Fauci dude. Mm-mm. If he's your doctor, and run, man, run. Because he's like, so how can I help you today with gain of function? Oh, I mean, can I help you with your illness today? You mean the one you gave us? You can stop. That, you know, that dude needs to be in prison for what he did. Yeah, no, I didn't do the vaccine either. There was no way I was going to take that vaccine. I mean, just there was a discernment about it that came over me, and the fact that the administration we were dealing with at the time, that where everything started to really catch fire, pardon the pun, because we had those, CNN playing down everything during those other riots we were having. Like, it's a fiery but mostly peaceful protest. I mean, that was the most ridiculous statement I think I've ever heard on live TV. Like, we're in the middle of a fire-filled chaos, but everyone's getting along great. And then AOC defending people. They're just trying to feed their families with what? Nike swoosh? They're raiding a Payless. I mean, come on. It's like, give me a break. We're running out of Best Buy with 75-inch color televisions. This'll get us through the pandemic. It's like, if you're going to loot anything, it would have been the toilet paper. But no, that made no sense. And they're just like trying to make excuses. And this was all after the George Floyd thing, and everyone was just like, remember the city, the Chad, the what they call it, the Chad or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but it was like this where the civilians took it over, and it all of a sudden it turned into the 1960s, and everyone was a long-haired hippie smoking weed in the street, and just like when it was like a dumbed down version of oh man, what's the name of that concert? I forget. Holy crap, I'm old. You know which concert I'm talking about. The real popular one. Not Coachella. Oh gosh, what was it? Why is that slipping my mind right now? Good Lord. Anyway, the point is, that whole situation could have been avoided had social media not hammered the fear into the public. Because that's what it was the fear in the public. And then they're like, you have to take it. Everyone has to be vaccinated. And then every news agency in the world was literally rubber stamping the exact same thing over and over and over and over and over again on their live stream. Because they were obviously told to, right, by the administration. And you need to get the vaccine. And then that one governor idiot eating fries and a hamburger trying to sell vaccines. Look, you get fries and a hamburger. And possibly a heart condition. Or a seizure. Or instant death. It's like... And he's just sitting here eating. Like, he looked like the most disgusting fool I have ever seen in my life. I was hoping that he, got a fry stuck in his throat or something like that. They had to do the Heimlich on him. I mean, it's like trying to sell vaccines. People that they didn't want. They wanted undesirables, which were what they considered undesirable, which were people of lower income or homeless people, to be like, ooh, free food, I'll get the shot. That's disgusting. I forget the name of that governor, but he should have been put in prison for that shit. I mean, that was disgusting. Woodstock. Somebody reminded me of the name. It was Woodstock. It was like that Chad development during that protest was like Woodstock for idiots. Sort of like, Lifetime television. So, yeah, basically. Oh, Chaz. Okay, Chaz. Yeah, you're right, Chaz. I'm sorry. I was saying the wrong name. It didn't matter, though. It wasn't really anything. It was like, they did their thing, and the police were like, well, what are we going to do? There's too many of them. And I'm like, I got some ideas. But, they didn't listen to me. Yeah, you're Chad, not Chaz. But I couldn't believe they did it, and they acted like the police didn't have the authority to go in there and do anything about it. And then when it came down to it, and they're like, shut it down, then the freaking army goes in there and starts shutting everything down. And now, they're like, now you see all those pictures of Kamala on the walls, and they're painting over them and stuff. It's like, yep, you had your 4 years of insanity, now it's time to get back to reality. Back to normal. I know a lot of people might disagree with me. They're like, but the tariffs, they're bad. They're this, they're that, and the other. No, they're not. You have to wait. You have to wait. It takes a long time to put out the previous administration's dumpster fires because they're everywhere. And not to mention the fact that when you pardon your entire family and they haven't been accused of anything, it's sort of sketchy, I would think. And like I've always said, most secure building in the White House, and nobody knows how the crack got in there. I can tell you how the crack got in there. Hunter Biden. That's how the crack got in there. I mean, let's be real. I know CNN played it all down, MSNBC, all those left-leaning, legacy media BSers. They just downplayed it. Like, maybe it was sugar. It's like, really? Really? You didn't see during, what was it? I forget what event it was, but you didn't see Hunter on the veranda out in front of the White House. He was like just fighting off them monsters, man. Just like you're watching me right now, man. And it was like black under his eyes and stuff like that. Just, I mean, come on. I just know he's getting triggered. He'll be thinking of me for the rest of the evening. Oh, man. Yeah, Dawson, they think I look older because of the beard. Bet what? You're obviously young, because nobody uses that language. Bet. It's sort of a very vague kind of, bet what? You miss Johnny? Where's Johnny? Thank you for that, Dawson. I will continue to look this way for the next 800 years. Yeah, I'm definitely under just nose skin, that's for sure. He's hating on me. Or he's just trolling because he knows what he wants to say something that gets people's attention. I mean, who knows? Either way, it's entertaining for me, so rock on. I'm not going to ban you any more than I, wouldn't stop you from being stupid in public. So, I should talk about my looks. Why? What would you like to know? Do glamour posts. No, I'm afraid I can't give you any spank bank material. Just no, I'm sorry. You're on your own. The Neuralink has ads. Ads playing in your brain. You know, upgrade. You've been watching Black Mirror too much. That's what you've been doing. Do I have a beard comb? Just use a brush. Well, I actually have a heated beard comb. Yeah, one for straightening it out so I can trim it. You're right, I do use the hairbrush from time to time. Actually, this is natural. I don't use beard oils. I just wash it, condition it normally, like I do my hair, you know. No, I won't. I don't trim a lot off. I just shape it realistically. Yeah, I don't like to put a whole bunch of chemicals in my hair or beard. Just the stuff you need to clean up, you know. Liam. You're funny, dude. That's funny. Just a thought. I like hearing the way you did the inflection on the U at the end, right in my. It just. Oh man. That's funny. Oh man. Where will the birds nest and when it's shorter? Probably in a tree outside. Someone watches Family Guy too much. Anyway, I'm glad you're English. Welcome to the chat. It seems like there's a lot of people from the UK or the EU that jump into my chat. I'm not sure why. I don't know. Maybe I'm one of the normal Americans for them. If I'm that, you know, great, awesome. Mr. Beans. New Zealand. Welcome. Welcome, New Zealand. You see, if I can get New Zealand and Russia and Ukraine and North Korea all in the chat, why can't I get them all to join the United States? Canada comes in all the time. I can get every country in my chat, and the government can't get them all to work together. I tell you what, if I'm president of the United States, would you all consider joining the United States? Because you could all come over to my place and we could all kick it, you know, relax, talk about defense, making sure that our countries are secure, sharing stuff that we need to get along together, That kind of thing. You know what I mean? What about it? DPC for president. Anyone agree? Raise your hand if you agree. Get me on the ballot. You can all vote for me next time. Yep, we got one. We got two. All right. I shall be the new leader of the world, and all of you will have your requests fulfilled. And I won't take your tax money and use it on stupid stuff. It's your tax money. So if your roads need to be repaired, that's what's going to happen. You know, if you want a bigger park that's safe for your children to play in, that's what's going to happen. If we need to put armed guards in school at every entrance and exit, that's what's going to happen. You want better prices on gas? That's what's going to happen. Because I'll bring us all together. Pull all of our resources together and be humanity rather than American, Canadian, Mexican, Russian, Korean. Just be humanity all together. I shall unify the world. And then we can all ride around on my quad drones and have a blast. Oh, Buck. Come on. He's not going to let that one die. He's just going to jump in with it every time he gets a chance. We love you, Buck. How you doing? There are no aliens. That's the problem, though, Liam. People think that there are aliens. There are no aliens. Because I refuse to believe that an advanced alien species would miss an entire planet. Yeah, or wouldn't miss an entire planet. I mean, who crashes into a planet? Yeah, but there are no aliens, so you don't have to worry about it. I mean, let's be realistic. If there was a civilization that was more advanced than us by thousands and thousands of years and sent out signals or searched or had a way to look beyond the way we see the universe through wormholes or whatever else, or learned how to make their own, you would have thought we would have received a signal by now. It's either that or they view Earth as most people do Compton. They roll up the windows as they drive by. You know? Not to knock Compton, you know, but it's a reference. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that'll be the alien message. Can you guys, like, leave now? You weren't supposed to be there. You're trespassing on private planetary property. Don't make us get DPC out there. He'll get you all off the property. No, I don't believe that there are aliens. At least from outer space. Not to put too fine a point on it. Alien ice. You know, why is it that people believe that there are aliens out there? Have you ever really gotten to the bottom of why? I know we've seen some weird stuff in the skies, but I mean, realistically, I don't think anyone's ever seen a craft close up, and if they did, they certainly didn't get a very. You think with all the camera technology we have, we could get an ultra clear view of an alien spacecraft if there were aliens by now. Okay. We've got satellites that can pick up the hairs on an ant's leg from orbit. Okay, if we can't identify and show a clear picture of an alien spacecraft with aliens, there just are none. Okay, they're not. Yes, the planet is full of Muppets. I agree with it. A 1,000 years of depictions from U.S. presidents to ancient and Native Americans to von Braun and Tesla to start. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I won't believe the alien thing. If anything does happen that is going to happen to convince people that there's some kind of alien invasion, it's us. It's our government. That's all there is to it. It's the reason why that they are working so hard on basically holographic imaging, using drones in the sky. You think they're cloud seeding, but they're not cloud seeding. They're basically trying to turn our upper atmosphere, where most of this stuff will stay, into a large projector screen, in a sense, that will pick up light at a specific wavelength, at a specific altitude, and render a picture that no one would be able to tell is fake or not, unless they were right up against it, and be far enough away to be convincing. So the idea is, yeah, do they want to stage an event? Of course, they have to stage an event now. And since the alien thing is out there and everyone's asking questions, they're going to stage an event. Why? Because the deep state needs another event. Because they're losing control of us. And that's not what they want. Well, they never had control of us. And that's what scares them. Now, the fallen angels I can agree with. Whether or not they possess any kind of technology would be irrelevant, because most of the angels were bound to the earth that were cast out. So they're right here, right now. Bound to the Euphrates and several other places. So yeah, that's what you're dealing with. The same stuff that people don't want to believe in. They want it to be aliens, because it can't be angels, because angels would mean that the Bible's accurate, and if the Bible's accurate, then people have to be accountable for their own actions. And Lord knows society doesn't want that. Then they like to be as wicked as humanly possible until it's too much for the media to bear and they can't cover it up anymore, and then they put people in jail for it. So yeah, it's like Hollywood basically, and like Diddy and everything else. Realistically, you take Epstein into consideration, they allow it until the public is too aware of what's going on, and then all of a sudden they're against it. And it's sick, you know. It's disgusting the way they're running it, because that's how they're doing it. They're like, well, we'll just see how much we can get away with, and you're sacrificing human lives, you're trafficking people. I mean, it's just, that's what they're doing. And then when they get caught, they're like, we're really getting on this and trying to handle the situation. And who are the only people that are upset about it? Take a guess. The left. They certainly hated it when we found all that stolen money. They weren't concerned about why the money was being used corruptly. They were just concerned about the fact that we found it. And that tells you all you need to know about the left. Schumer, all the rest of them. Bunch of pieces of shit, to be honest with you. And Pelosi and AOC, they're the worst of them. They really are. Literally had a bartender telling a rocket scientist that he didn't know what he was talking about. That to me was an irony that I just couldn't help but laugh at. Thieving, conniving Democrats. That's all they are. I'm not going to say all of them are like that, because not all of them are, but we know which ones we're talking about here. We're talking about the ones that used Biden as a talking head for 4 years. He never ran the country. He just repeated the words he was told to repeat. Obama and his husband was running the country for like an undesignated third term via Biden. Yep, coup d'etat. We all knew he wasn't running the country. We could see that. I mean, the man couldn't even get gravity right. I've said it before. He fell up the stairs. I mean, he should have been part of the space program. Not the president. Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's. That is like the thank you, Liam, or thank you so much for that. Liam, that was the perfect example of the Biden administration. Weekend at Bernie's. That was, I couldn't have put it better. That was excellent. You win the internet. Not again. You gotta send me some silver, man. I want some silver and gold so I can say I have some. Well, actually, I do have a little bit. Just a little tiny bit. You're not even gonna be able to see it on this phone. I'm telling you. I'll have to put it on the GoPro and like blow it up, make it look huge. Look at these huge nuggets. You know, just out of the river close by, you know. No, it's gold. Not a kidney stone. Trust me, I had enough of those in my lifetime. Not anymore, though. They kind of stopped. Just stopped. I want something I can put, I want like a gold coin or a silver coin, something I can put into like a resin project, or I use Arduino lighting under it, and then put it in a resin cube, and then just put the Arduino lights on it and just have it go through some that would look cool. Buy emerald with the human rights situation. It's hard to mine emerald. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah, I like finding precious stones, especially down in the river when it's low enough and it's down to the bedrock. I found one actually, I think my wife found it. It looked like a quartz, but it was too bright. It was diffusing light like a diamond, but it was in the river, so it had been worn smooth over I don't know how long. You know how this works, thousands of years. But it was a round, clear stone that was basically diffused light the exact way a diamond does. How you don't get the color diffusion through the light until it's cut. It just it dulls the sunlight, so you know it's diamond. But if that's a diamond, if I find out that that's a diamond and take it in, then yeah, I'm gonna sell that thing. Make some serious money off of that one. It's a decent sized one too. It's about the size of a nickel, I think, in width, and it's all just, yeah. I love opals too. Opals are awesome. Oh yeah, yeah. That's why gold is precious, because it didn't originate from here. It, in a sense, in the form when Earth formed, as it was formed, considering how it was formed. That's why there's gold on Earth that does come up through some of the volcanic activity we have. But yeah, mainly it's exploding stars. Never seen a crypto bright opal. The diamond market's a sham. I think it always has been. I mean, other than its rarity, there's no practical use for a diamond outside of wearing it. Unless you're using it for industrial purposes. So, I don't understand why. Well, I do understand why. It's marketing. This is the very rare, hardest stone on the planet. Very beautiful the way it refracts light. But you can get glass to refract light the way that. So diamonds were a marketing scam. There's no practical use for them outside of industrial purposes. Possibly laser diode lenses, that kind of stuff. So, yep, that's how I feel about it. I just love precious metals. I want silver, I want gold, I want platinum and palladium. Platinum mainly because when I start doing my electrolysis for my hydrogen production, platinum is the anode and cathode of choice because there's no corrosion. The corrosion resistant. So even if I'm using a sodium hydroxide to increase the hydrogen in the water, basically the platinum anodes they won't corrode. Then you pipe everything out separately. I think the cathode is oxygen, the anode is hydrogen, and you can pipe them out separately and then compress them. So now you have oxygen, hydrogen, in tanks. And that's part of my fuel and power source for one of my other projects, because I'll be using a hydrogen fuel stack for electricity, as opposed to a lithium polymer battery cell. And yes, the hydrogen will be in a tank stored in a carbon hydride solution. So it can be stored safely. You could shoot a hole in it, put a cigarette out in hydride, and it would just smolder. Because you have to, basically you're making a bunch of carbon nanotubes out of hydride. That's how you're making it. And the carbon nanotubes can be from any kind of organic material. Chicken feathers is the best way to do it. And then you basically turn them into straight carbon and then get them into the tank and fill that with hydrogen. And then when you want the hydrogen out, you have a coil in the center that heats it. and that releases the hydrogen from the tank, but makes it safe for transport. It doesn't hold the same volume as a compressed liquid hydrogen, but it's close to it. Aussie gold, pure off the ground. That's where I want to go gold hunting. Australia. I was in Brisbane and didn't get a chance to go out and look for gold, but I was pretty much in the city a lot, enjoying the main garden they have there next to the river, which is next to Elizabeth Street and the mall and everything in Brisbane. And I liked it there. I liked Queensland, and I enjoyed my visit there. Honestly, wish I could take my family there and show them, because it was a great place. Yeah, Cali, Utah, Alaska, Aussie. There's plenty of gold here, though. I mean, there's a reason for. I'm in an area where I'm close to where the gold rush happened, so I'm actually in an area where when somebody busted out of gold and didn't have success, they came down from where they were at into this area and they farmed. So they were able to make a living if they didn't have luck during the gold rush. So that's how all the farms ended up cropping up around here. And 45 minutes, an hour and a half to the east, and I'm back up in gold country. Oh, you buy and sell every day, huh? So you like buying the dip and then selling the rise and selling. Yeah. Oh, look, it's Bankhead, one of my favorite trolls. You see how I collect them? This is the third or fourth time he's been back. They're like waits for me. And he'll continue to say stuff like this. He might deviate slightly, but it'll usually be this stuff here. So, yeah, just you can ignore them. I don't ban people because they want to come in and say stupid stuff like that. That's on them, not me. Yeah, Bankhead. Give everyone a break for a moment. Let him get the information he's here for. Happens a lot, guys. But like I said, I don't ban people because, because there's a person in there somewhere and we'll find them. Ain't giving up on you, Bank. We know you're in there somewhere. Bank. Well, at least he said something different. See, I told you there was a human in there. Now, we know you're good at heart, Bank. I don't know why you post some of the stuff you post on the chat, but we know you're a human being and you can be a good person. And then we're not really bothered about the spamming thing. It doesn't bother me anymore. And here he goes. Liam. Yeah, I got you on that one. Buck. He just walks in with a smile. He's getting ready to drop a bomb right now. Yeah, anybody like to join the Discord so they can get information the PXD's talking about? Go to the channel page and join the Discord, and then get some gold and silver buying tips from somebody who has been fairly successful at it. Sorry, Bankhead, that's not a commodity we deal in. That's a good question, Jason. The question is, would you want to? Yeah, I bet selling gold's the easiest. At least gold is a tangible asset. Bitcoin isn't. It's based on several tangible assets, but it's also subject to all of them at the same time, going up or down. You also have to be careful where you buy your gold, especially if you want physical gold. Because they like to send you fake stuff, you know. I don't have enough to buy gold, so I wouldn't try. But yes, we know, Bank. Blah 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 blah. Those are about the 3 sets of sentences that he knows so far. Dang. This is all good information. You know about gold? Gold's gonna go up, especially if we end up going to war. Oh, I get in free? Cool. I'll keep making the big fans. Fort Knox is empty. Yeah. It's full of those fake cardboard boxes that look like gold. IOUs. That's about right. See, I don't need a lot. I mean, if I find like a decent sized chunk of gold, if I'm out using the detector or something like that, I'm gonna sell it off. I'm gonna put it back into what I'm doing. Same goes for any donations I get from either Patreon or the Buy Me a Coffee link that's on my channel page. Any kind of donations goes back into what I'm doing here. So I'm using it to buy filament, bearings, you know, screws, bolts, nuts, you know, hardware, anything I might need, electronics, ESCs, Batteries. Batteries for sure, because the ones I want are going to cost me $275. Because, man, this stuff is not cheap anymore. That's a good idea. Sometimes, though, nuggets at a specific size, especially if they happen to be imparted inside the quartz, the specimen itself is actually worth more than the weight of the gold. So when you find a specimen nugget, you don't want to melt it down. You want to see if it holds any more value because of the specimen shape, because of what it's in, and the form, the original form that it's in. Sometimes that makes the specimen worth more. If you're just getting small nuggets and things like that, and you have a collection that you want to melt down, I see that. But if you find a larger specimen, it's going to be worth more as a specimen than melting it down or mining out the piece or whatever. This is a good conversation. So, for us, it's opposite. In the UK, if you find gold or hidden treasure, the property naturally belongs to the crown. Now that's some bullshit right there. If I find gold in the UK, it don't belong to the crown. As a matter of fact, with my ancestry, the crown belongs to me. And I'll change that rule for you immediately. If you find gold, it's yours. So, put me on the throne, and I shall make sure that you have freedom, and that you have gold, and it belongs to you when you find it. And you can say stuff on Facebook without going to jail. I shall be your king. Come on, you guys, I'm serious. Put together a petition. You can check out my lineage on Ancestry. I'm an heir to the throne. Oh, here goes Bankhead again. He's dreaming. The black market. So you'd rather have the black market than me as your king? Come on, I'm gonna do a better job than the rest of those royals. It's either that or Denmark. Since Ragnar Lothbrok is my grandfather. And of course Robert the Bruce is as well. I mean, actually, there's so many in my family tree that I'm like debating on whether or not I should check into who I might be an heir to. If there's any lines out there that are still in the UK or the EU that are going to end, that I am related to, and I may be the only heir left, I'm gonna find it. All I want's a castle. Just a castle. Use the Buy Me a Coffee link if you want to donate anything. That seems like a large amount, which definitely would go towards buying the stuff that we need here. I'll tell you that. But yeah, the Buy Me a Coffee link and my page is where I usually get donations. You can do it on Patreon too, I think. I don't know if you did not. I'm not sure if you can donate specific amounts there, like you can with the Buy Me a Coffee link, because there you can just buy as many coffees as you want, and then I get the cash deposited. Go buy stuff that I need for this, and then build more stuff. Because this drone that I'm building is going to cost me probably around, if I go with the ESCs that I'm running at 48 volts, I have to get 3 more motors at about $90 a piece, 3 more ESCs, which are about 110, 8 battery packs. That's going to cost me about $275 a pair on the 10,000 milliamps. So you're looking about $1,000 for the batteries. Over that, actually. So yeah, and I'm going to need roughly 10 to 12 rolls of some Bamboo Lab Clear PETG refills, because I have the spools. And I that's what I need, basically. Some carbon fiber tubing or acrylic tubing if it's strong enough. I can handle picking up the Arduino addressable LEDs and stuff like that, and the nanos and stuff like that I'm going to run them with. But to build this big drone, yeah, it's going to cost me a little bit. That's why I kind of had to wait and just keep experimenting with this motor here, because I only have the one 48 volt ESC, and I would love to do more. I would love to, because I think I'm going to get lift out of this. I was discussing some stuff with I think it's JLC3P, some, it's a website anyway. They do 3D printing and supply stuff, and mechanical parts. So I talked to them about sending me some aluminum extrusions so I could build a cage for the 340 mil that goes from the floor to the ceiling, so I can put it on rollers, and then the rollers, the whole system, the fan itself would hold the weight of its batteries, its ESC, and then some extra weight to make sure that it can lift more than itself, obviously. And then I'm going to have the rollers, 3D print the racks that hold the rollers that bolt to the engine and then go to the aluminum extrusion. And then I will demonstrate at what throttle we have sustainable lift from a single engine. And that will give me an idea of how much weight I'll be able to lift total with all 4 engines. So you're talking about a drone that's probably going to be 4.5 to 5 feet by 5 feet squared. So standard X quad, but with 4 340 millimeter 22 blade high pass EDFs. So it's going to be an awesome drone. And the funny thing is, I'm not going to be able to fit it in my car, so I have to strap it on top of the car when I go out to the field to fly it. So I'm going to be driving down the road with this big ass drone on the top of my car. Yeah, but if you donate anything, just go to the Buy Me a Coffee link to do it. And that's the quickest way for me to do it, because then I can transfer it right to my bank real quick and then buy parts that I need. So yeah, that's really the best way to do it if anyone wants to help me at all. Again, it's not an obligation. It's not something I'm requiring anyone to do. If you noticed on my Patreon, most of the stuff I put up is public, because I'm not charging people for the content. I want their donations to be something that they're willing to do because they want to help, not something that they're forced to do to watch content. I don't want that. I don't want to play it like that. If you're really interested in what I'm doing and want to see me make it faster, then that's how it works. You donate because you donate what you can. And I'm not asking everyone to give me $1 million. Of course, you can if you like. I'm not going to stop you. But if any kind of money I get, it's going to go straight towards this, man, and I'm going to be building it even faster. and I only have the one X1 carbon, so it's going to take a little while to print. I would love to pick up an H2D because it has a bigger build volume. It does do a little bit more than just 3D printing, so that could be helpful. Love to pick up one of those. That would definitely facilitate building this larger drone even quicker. But realistically, for me, being on veterans benefits and taking care of a family, it's about making sure that I have, I pay my bills first, and then everything. And if I don't have anything left, I don't have anything left. And then, my brother helps out with some of the stuff. Like he bought the printer and he buys the filament, and he'll buy me an engine when he can, and just to help me out. He wants to be involved in it as well. So most of the stuff I have has been donated to me, and I've purchased a few things when I can, but it's incredibly difficult until I can monetize the channel and try to make some money that way, so I can continue to fund this. Because I'm not trying to be some kind of YouTuber, rich star or whatever who's running around like some of the other ones you see where they're like blah, 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 or whatever they were saying, and filling up their car with gas and making weird noises and wearing gold chains, and their hair is like they just stuck their tongue in a light socket, and that's how they're doing things. And they're like flashing stacks of money and stuff like that. I'm like surprised. It's like anyone can buy fake money online, but they do it for the views. They do it so they can get monetization. And for me, it isn't about that. It's not about changing my lifestyle to the point where I buy a house and stuff like that. No, it's about putting it into the projects. I want my projects, I want my designs, I want everything that I do to eventually be the reason why I do have an income. And that's why I'm working towards a larger goal. But in the interim, I'm going sticking with the RC route, and then moving to the quad size. That's a human operated quad, like you're actually on it, and that'll be something I do solely. I'm not gonna put anybody else on it, because if it can lift my ass, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a powerful drone. Okay, because I'm 6'4", 290, and if I design it around me, then it'll obviously be adequate for the standard size civilian. And that's the main thing. That's what I want to do. So, Dawson, you're too funny, man. Yeah, but like I said, donations are completely a voluntary thing. I'm not going to hold any files back from you guys when I get them finished. I did put the Shrike files up, the Shrike drone, the 70mm, and a components list up. I think I put it on the Buy Me a Coffee site or Patreon, one of the two. But I listed it for $3, and that was mainly to see if anyone would actually do it. $3, $3 whole for all the STLs and the complete components list. And if you watch my playlist on there, you can see how I built the thing. So there you go. That's the only time I ever put anything up for money. And it was when I first started the page, because I wasn't sure how it all worked. So I thought I was supposed to put stuff up in the shop for sale. So I try to put as much content as I can on those two sites, because I don't have a lot of traffic on the Patreon and a lot of traffic on the Buy Me a Coffee thing, but I'm trying. I'm doing my best, and I'm trying to get to the point where, like I said, I can monetize and pretty much support the hobby, still be able to pay my bills with what the VA gets me, and just keep going, keep going and make what I want to make. And then eventually when I decide to finally buy the land I want to buy for myself, for my family, I want it to be because I earned it, not because I just made a lot of money off of, YouTube donations and stuff like that. I want to put out something that you guys are going to want. Not to sell it to you guys, but, eventually if I do develop something that goes to market, then we'll let the market decide how much money I make. But when it comes to the people who have supported me here, you guys will be the first. You guys are the first. You're the ones that are going to get the STL files. You're the ones that are going to get the components and build lists, the build videos, everything else. Everybody who supports me, that's who comes first. My supporters. The supporters of my channel, they're like my family. Even the trolls. What are you guys talking about? What I miss? Everyone's laughing. Why? Wait, I want to laugh. What are you guys talking about? I want to be in on my stream too. What's going on, dear? Who said what? Hold on. Yeah, no, I don't. I honestly don't believe he's 10 either.
Shall I catch you up?
Oh yes, please catch me up because I'm not. This screen is too small and the text is even smaller.
Remember a couple lives ago when
Yes.
Dawson was in the chat
Yes.
and he was trolling
Yes.
and he was being a jerk
Yes.
and he was being raunchy and nasty and gross.
Yeah.
Okay, now he's saying he's 10
Now he's saying he's 10.
and PXD is saying he's 10. So I'm just saying, we're just saying, as a 10-year-old, why was he talking like that a couple lives ago?
Well, he can't be 10 because if he used his actual age when he made his email account, then there's no way he'd be on my live because it would be restricted.
Well, you can talk after you're caught up now.
Yeah. Okay, that's what's going on. Is there anything else cold in the fridge for me?
Okay.
To drink? Thank you. This is about done. Dawson's laughing. Yes, we know you're not 10. Okay? You're not starving. You're not home alone. You're not only eating ramen. Although, I've been known to only be able to eat ramen. Mainly because, well, like I said, I'm on VA benefits. I'd be happy with MREs. Just send me MREs. I'll be alright. Dawson, there's no way to confirm that, and if you are 10, you can't be in this chat. You can't be in these lives because they're not made for children.
Soda or Rockstar?
Soda with a little ice. I don't want to do another Rockstar right now. My nerves are already like... Yeah. Levi is also 10. Guess what, guys? I'm 10 too. Come on. Not 10. If you were 10, I'd have to have a talk with your parents if you're actually letting you listen to me. Stacy is currently getting me something to drink. She shall return. Alright, Professor Oak, why do you need Stacy? And it's I-E, not Y. Yeah, we know your name is Dawson, but that doesn't... just because you give us your name doesn't mean that you're 10. And I'm certainly not going to ask you for an ID. But what I don't want to do is ban you because you're a child on this stream. So you need to give me your actual age. Thank you, my love. Please, for the love of God, do not send me any pictures of you if you are 10. Hi, Colt. Here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come up here and say hi to the people. Say hi. Say hi, buddy. Oh, the camera's over there. See?
Hey, hi, Colt. I'm the big derpy husky.
You need out, buddy? Grow some thumbs. I'm just kidding. Hold on, I gotta let the dog out. Be right back. Come on, let's go. Come on. There. Now when he's done, he's gonna come busting open through the back door like a boss, like he normally does, and slam it into the wall, and then I have to putty the wall again. I tried putting one of those door stops behind it, but it's a fire door. So when he pushes it open, he slams it right into the wall. Makes this big hole. Dawson, realistically, if you're 10, you shouldn't be here. Because this is a chat that was designated as not for children. So, if you're going to stick to the story that you're 10, you have to go. It's nothing personal, but I don't want to violate any policies on YouTube. And I'm not violating any policies. Whoever allowed you to change your age on your email are the ones that are violating policies. So maybe YouTube will look into your account and find out who your parents are and then notify them accordingly. But I just don't want you to be subject to anything that you shouldn't be if you're 10 years old. And that's what I mean, because if I want, I mean, I'm obviously not putting out kid-friendly content. I'm not trying to be, crass or anything like that, but I don't want to curse around children, and sometimes I do. It's a nasty habit from the military. But and if you're 10 years old, I don't want to encourage you to do anything that I'm doing that might be dangerous, like messing with turbine engines and things like that. You see where I'm going with this? It puts me in a spot if that's your actual age, because then I have to decide. Because I think you're a cool person, but I have to decide whether or not I have to get rid of you on the chat because I don't, I can't have children here. Sleep well. You're watching me till I sleep? Or you sleep? If I sleep. It's like you're watching me till I sleep. Okay. There you go. Levi, you're not the one making rules, buddy. I am. And then here we go. Okay, says erupted. That's right. Look, if you are here and you are underage, I'm going to notify your parents through YouTube and let them take care of the issue because you are not supposed to be here. My parents and my whole family goes around me. There ain't nothing. I don't know what that means. Bankhead, shut up. Not now. Go sit in the corner and wait. We'll call you. Go sit in the corner, Bank. Yes, if you're 13, go. I'm sorry. I mark this as not for children. I just don't think that you should be here if you are underage. It's that simple. It's not personal. You know, it's just I'm trying to abide by the policies that I agreed to when I was doing the live. And then that's what I mean. You get trolls like Bank, and he's shooting out words like that. Yeah, I understand that you cuss all the time, but it isn't about that. It's about YouTube's rules. And I'm trying to be a good YouTuber. Okay? I marked it that's not for children, so that if you are not of the appropriate age to where you can be here, when you signed up for your email, you give your actual birth date, and you can't see my stream because of it, then that's the rules we have to abide by. If you lied about your age and then you're saying what your real age is here, you're going to get yourself banned by YouTube. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm not taking responsibility for people lying about their age just to get into an adult stream. Period. So if you hang out, then they're going to ban you. I'm not trying to ban people. But I don't want YouTube to be upset over the fact that people are sitting here in the stream saying, because if you're here, the bottom line is your email is attached to an account where your age is appropriate to be here. So you're either lying or you lied about your age to get the email for your account. Either way, I'm not the one in the wrong. But I don't want you to see things if you're young or hear things that might be inappropriate, or I don't want you to see projects that I do that I deem dangerous for young people to do and have you go home and try them or go into your garage and try them and then get hurt. That's my biggest thing. It's all about your protection as a minor. Come on, Cole. Go inside. Getting the dogs in. Hold on a minute. Not the protection I'm referring to if you're trying to be crass, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from. See, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about, Levi.
Can you take just a brief intermission? Just 10 seconds.
What's up?
Can you just come here for just 10 seconds?
Hold that thought, everyone. I'll be back in just a second. Ouch. Stepped on the fan. Ugh. And Levi is gone. Rip Levi, yeah. Look, I tried to warn. I don't want to ban you. I don't want underage people in my live streams, because it is YouTube policy. And if you are violating YouTube policy by lying about your age for your account, I am not going to be held responsible. And Levi said something to my wife, harassing her, so out the door. So I hate having to ban people, but if they're not going to listen to me, remember right now, you're in my house. Bottom line. Bank, that goes for you too. So please say something constructive. If you say anything else that is offensive or refer to any other illegal substances, you will be next. Not trying to be mean. I'm trying to protect my subscribers and my viewers. So, remember that. And Levi insulted my wife, so that's the last straw for me. So, goodbye, Levi. So sad to watch you go. Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that. I got two. There's no in between on my switch. Off and then on. And if it's on, make a path. Purples. You have the same lighter? Yeah. It's a good one. Yeah, I know. If I caught any kind of people like that, I'll tell you right now, that's the kind of thing that you have to worry about online, and that's keeping your kids protected. Because my kids watch YouTube, things like that, and if anyone were to try and stalk them or anything like that, or try and track them down, they would be met with some things if they tried to come to my house that would forever haunt them. And that would be me. Because any of those pedos out there who try to go after children, I catch you, I am driving your dick into the dirt. Period. I don't care if it's through asphalt in the street. You're going down. And then police can have what's left of you. That's right. Police would not be required. Like if somebody breaks into my house, they get like somebody tried, like one of my old places, somebody tried to break in, and they're like, okay, I give, because I'm like this close to their face, with a very, very efficient tool. let's just say. And he goes, well, aren't you going to go with the police? Now that I've given up? I'm like, why? Nobody knows you're here. Yeah, that kind of stuff irritates me. We have to protect our children. Okay, that's all there is to it. There's a lot of sick people out there who I do not have a problem dealing with personally. If I ever catch them trying to sneak their way in or talk to my children or anybody else's children for that matter. Nobody knows he's still there based that state into the camera. Stare at the camera. No, it didn't freeze. That was me being serious. Very, very serious. So yeah. Have I ever accidentally set fire to the beard? Not yet, thankfully. However, I have had incidences where I felt the heat from the flame and I thought, holy crap, that was close. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys have been great. I always love it when you guys stop by and chat with me. Is it cherry tobacco? No, it's just a standard pipe tobacco. I love the Captain Black, but I like the premium stuff. Or the gold. Either one's a good aroma. Yes. Yeah, if you see anybody trying to spam different languages in here that are saying inappropriate things, then just report them immediately. Because I really want you guys to have a good time while you're here and chat with us, be a part of the group and talk about the projects or whatever else you want to talk about. But there is a line that I'm going to set. A line I will draw in the sand. And if anybody crosses it, they're gone. Period. Because you know, I want the subscribers, I want the people who watch my channel, I want them to enjoy themselves, enjoy the content, enjoy the conversation. I don't want to have to deal with some people, and I try not to block people because I want them to have a voice, I want them to have an opinion. But there are rules that have to be followed on YouTube, and they must be abided by. So if you break those rules, then I have to let you go. That simple. Yeah, I've got to do the bots because to be honest with you, I haven't set them up yet, and I haven't even looked into how. So, So I'll definitely look into the bots. Because I know there's a way to block it, and I want to make sure that the chat is good for everybody. Because a lot of what I do is just kicking back and chatting with you, fine people, and having a good time, and then discussing the projects. That's really what it's all about. It's just, having someone to talk to. A lot of people scroll through these lives, and I see a lot of weird lives, I'll tell you that much, when I was going down that rabbit hole, trying to see what lives were about. You're scrolling and you're seeing people, and as soon as you pop up, there's somebody like they're doing stupid things, like one guy chugging water or chugging this or chugging that, sub and I'll chug this thing or whatever, water or whatever, and the whole thing. I'm like, you're gonna hydrate yourself if we subscribe to your channel? And then I'm sure there's probably a plethora of other very, very strange lives going on out there. And I try to make this more of a normal one so that people can come in here and go, look, normalcy. I don't want to scroll through a live. People shouldn't be some people might like it, but some people shouldn't be subject to scrolling through lives to actually have a conversation with somebody or just to enjoy the conversation as a whole. And run onto a furry or something. That's disturbing. Yeah. We did a third proper measure. We get done. I scroll past chats with hundreds of people. Yeah, I never get hundreds of people. I like to talk straight to people. I like to talk about down to earth things and my projects and my religious beliefs and some of the stuff going on out there politically and in the world and things like that, and just have a normal chat with people, if you can call that normal nowadays. And to be perfectly honest, it's hard to find a normal chat anymore because everyone's on there just to get the subs. I've seen people with like reels that they put out that have like 2 million views, and they're not doing anything except something either extremely dangerous or ridiculously stupid. And it's sad that is what attracts attention nowadays. You see the gang members and stuff like that, or people who are trying to be thugs or whatever you want to call them, with the gold chains and the teeth and talking and stuff like that, and I can't even understand half of it, what they're saying, because they're speaking in a chewed up version of English and then trying to spit it back out, and I'm like, how am I supposed to respond to that? I don't even know what you said. And I think part of the allure to most people in that is, one, they don't understand what they said, so they watch the reel over and over again. And two, the people are usually covered completely head to toe in tattoos and have weird hairdos, and they're wearing a whole bunch of fake gold and diamonds and stuff like that, and I think they're trying to act like they're gangster or something like that. But I mean, you can be on the street with all that crap trying to act gangster, and if I freaking roll up on a freaking turbine quad, yeah, you're gonna shit your designer pants, I guarantee you. Join RC 3 printed motors, model boats, CAD with an M4. Now every 3-letter agency has entered the chat. No, I am not. No, it's totally fine. I'm just playing around. If if a government agency likes the efficiency of my designs, like the fact that I was able to produce as much thrust as I did out of that fan with under 50 amps, then I more than welcome government contractors to come to me and pay me millions of dollars to build something for them. I would totally do it. So, I mean, dude, think about it. A fully printed 340 millimeter high pass fan running on 48 volts, pulling 50 amps at over half throttle, under 50 amps, and producing so much thrust that I had to put more tie down points to the outside stator. And everything in the whole room was just blowing everywhere. If I would have ramped that thing up to full throttle, it would have pulled itself off the table. Or the whole table would have taken off. So yeah, basically, yeah, if a government agency wants to hire me to build something, I'll do it. I mean, I did all this with one 3D printer. That's the Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon. One 3D printer for that fan. And I will unplug my phone and show it off. All right.
I wasn't finished.
Yes, we know. So this is the big boy right here. 340 millimeters. As you can see, I had to put straps down and literally metal screw them into the table and around the stator sections just so the fan would stay where it is when I was running it. And I would run it again, but I can't run it while I'm in here for safety reasons. I run everything from behind this firewall at my computer, and then I run the GoPro up there to film from the top down so you can kind of see the fan. And then I use a loudspeaker in here, and then I talk through that so that the shop is clear of any personnel before I actually spin up. And the reason for that is because these are not glued together. Okay? I designed these to slide directly into the hub, tapping them in with a hammer. These are friction fit only. That's how I designed them. And they work really well. Very rigid. And they haven't come off yet, even though I've spun them up pretty fast. I've got my RPM sensor here, which I haven't used quite yet. Although I did program the Arduino for it. I have to check out some of the programming because it's not reading it right. And I actually have to kind of paint this a more dull paint so that it picks up the reflection of the tape and not the actual filament. And then I'll get a more accurate reading off the sensor. But one of the viewers did point out that the ESC should give me a decent RPM measurement based on voltage draw and the amps that are being pushed into it. So that's also true, but I wanted a visual readout for you guys, which is why I designed it this way using Arduino. So yeah, my phone, it always does that. Yeah, when I unplug my phone, it says I wasn't finished. So yeah. Doesn't that look cool? Yeah. It's a beautiful fan. And it's running off the same motor as this one is, which I'm designing a new planetary gear system for, because this is the 170 millimeter version, and it runs with a 7070 flip sky, just like the other one is. This is the same engine that's in that one right there, but this one's set at a 4-to-1 gear ratio, so that I can get some serious speed out of it. So that's what this one's for. It's for smaller applications. In basically, if you want to build a bigger drone or a jet, this is your main system that you would put in the jet body with the motor attached to the back. And that's the whole system that would go inside the aircraft. Not the ductwork. That's just for testing. This is your engine. This is your drive motor, ESC. And this is 48 volts. This is 40. This can go up to 72. And that's why I chose it, because it gives me some overhead to make sure I don't overheat everything. And that's really what the whole point was, is to make sure that I don't have an engine that I can max out and destroy. I needed some more headroom, so that's what I kept it at. And when I ran this last time, it took this, which was my front drive version, right? And it blew it off the table. It was putting some serious thrust out. But I lost a bearing, I found out of the bottom of one of these. And it got caught inside the planetary gear system and broke some of the teeth. So I redesigned this to have more of a helical gearing system, so that the interface between the teeth would be a smoother transition. And then I'm reprinting that, and then I'm gonna replace this entire system. And then this drive system here has carbon fiber rods in it that go down into the planetaries. And then this collet actually connects to the shaft on the motor right here. Giggity. So that's why I designed it that way. So I wanted to be able to run both engines on the same motor. And I've been able to successfully so far, with the exception of that planetary gear failure. But that's neither here or there. That can be redesigned. So yeah, she was pushing some air. She was definitely pushing. But the new gear system will be much quieter and much smoother. And then that'll be pretty much the end product. Once I can prove that and everything's good, I would love to CNC this out of aluminum as well as that one. And then tool steel bearing it the way I want to. So, I mean, I'm going to CAD all that up, but I can't really do anything until I find someone who can do it correctly and I know the offsets of their machine so that I can print it. Can I add what? What's KERS? Explain. Kinetic injury. Oh, you're talking about a generative braking system in a sense. Is that what you're referring to? Yeah, recharge the motor. Okay, I see what you mean. You could on the heavier fan, I think, especially if you're running at an altitude and you're using it as a forward, facing jet engine. Once you shut the engine off, of course, you're going to have airflow pushing the fan, and then you could add a generative system in there. But it would have to be programmed into the ESC, and the ESC would have to be designed to convert the energy coming back into it. So would have to be a completely different ESC altogether. So, and what we're doing at this point is kind of working with what you can get off of Amazon, and that's for the purpose of you guys being able to say, yay, I've got the STLs. I got the components list. The fan works great because he finally got it all nulled out and worked out, and everything's perfect. So I know what ESC I got to get. I know what battery I got to get. I know what motor I got to get. And then I can and everything's off of Amazon. And then you can print the rest because I'll have the STLs available for you once everything is finished and proven. Until then, next month, make sure you pick up your better coffee when CJ gets the site back up. He'll give me a new link for that. There is a link for it now, but I think the site is down for a little while. But make sure you get your bitter coffee for bitter people from Breakfast in Bread. Breakfast in Bread. I say it wrong every single time. And the link is in my channel page, but there will be a new link. You will get a discount with that link once CJ gives it to me. But he's getting his site repaired. It'll be back up in a little while, and you can get your coffee and your merch. Until then, we're going to keep working on this. I'm going to be swapping over the dill drone components to the new body. And then we're going to be running this again on 22 volts. I ran it on 48 last time. I want to see what it does with a 22 volt pack at 100 C discharge rate and see if there's any differences. So that'll be one of the next spin ups I do with this. And then my mycelium is still basically humidifying. The tint is doing well. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, well, that project's a different story. Bioluminescent genetics. So yeah, be looking for this. Be looking for that. That's coming up soon. There'll be a video that I do where I do a time lapse, sort of where it goes fast. Me taking this stuff out, putting it into that one, so you can kind of see the process. But you know, just an entertaining video. And then we will get this one up and running with the new gears, and then we're gonna get some stuff. Oh, and when the ESC and the stuff that I'm waiting for comes in the mail, we're going to get Sally in the air with her 90mm EDF. Yeah, this one's going to be fun to fly. I designed this whole thing in Fusion. I'm going to put some vector fins here for vector thrust because it is a water lander, believe it or not. So there's an old Ender 3. This is the Smithsonian side of the shop. And that's the original Shrike. And that is the outside of the turbojet that I'm using to power the Cutlass Black from Star Citizen, which I'm building into a huge drone. So I'm building the body so I can do the carbon fiber. Anybody who plays Star Citizen knows what the Cutlass Black is. It's going to be like a 5-6 foot model. But it is going to be a flying drone. So, and that's what these top drives are for. Is for weight mitigation, so that the actual drone control on the ship can actually work properly. And the nacelles on the back are going to be run by those turbojets, which will actually articulate just like in the game from VTOL mode to forward flight. This is your weight mitigation. This can also be your weight mitigation because it'll also fit inside the Cutty Black. So there's a few ways I could go about doing it. Hi, Deadpool. How are you doing? All right. So other than that, that's what we're going to be doing. It's getting warm in here because I have no air conditioning. And I am going to go ahead and end it here. But rest assured, you will be seeing another spin up of this bad boy right here very soon. And another spin up of that, which is the younger brother, but still a good fan. But that's my biggest fan. What a cheesy joke. Anyway, the point is I want to thank everyone that had stopped by and contributed. And I just want everyone to have fun without hurting themselves with my designs. So that's why everything has to be perfect first before I put up STLs. And of course we have to give credit where credit is due. This is the Madonna boob fan. Okay, and what we're going to do is end it right there. So I love all you guys. I thank you for all the support. A Millennium Falcon. I'll write that down. You shall have one. Ooh, I'll even do a Death Star. That'll be cool. Bigger projects, though, in the works. Obviously, those are in the future. I'm going to keep going. When these engines are finalized, I'll be able to do all kinds of stuff with them. X-Wing 2. I actually have an X-Wing designed for 120mm EDFs that I'm going to end up using. Big VTOL X-Wing. Already have the files and everything for it set up. So until next time, you guys have a wonderful evening. I will see you again soon. Don't worry, I won't wait too long for another live. And from all of us here at DPC, I want to thank everyone for your support. And you are all wonderful people, and I shall see you again next time. Have a wonderful night. Goodbye.